Are you familiar with those auto-battler games where you select a troop of heroes and let them duke it out on their own? Those with enough numbers and statistics to fill an entire warehouse that only the dorkiest of nerds could enjoy? Not me though, it's not like there's at least 2 reviews like those in this very channel. Anyhow, what if you just want to chill and let overpowered demons throw blood projectiles at unsuspecting travelers? Welcome to Endgame of Devil. Endgame of Devil is, first of all, a very weird name that never sounds quite right. Other than that, it is a very casual army builder slash auto battler that will see you assemble an army of unlikely characters to defeat an ever-growing horde of adventurers as they attempt to steal your crystals. As you recruit more and more minions, they'll be randomly placed in a grid board where they'll spawn every turn and attack nearby adventurers as well as activating some special effects. After each round, you get to add a new minion to your army and adventurers countdown. Upon reaching 0, they will steal 1 crystal. If you run out of crystals, game over. Upon defeating a wave of enemies, you'll be granted the choice of relic that provides constant permanent bonuses until the end of the run, and the new wave will spawn, rinse and repeat. And that's it. That's the game. So why should you care? Well, as with any game in this space, it lives and dies by how varied units and strategies are. This game is a very good example, albeit not flawless, and it makes for the perfect comfort food experience that keeps sucking you in for just one more bite. Let's dive in. Both the minions you can draft and the enemies you need to defeat come in many shapes and sizes. However, only half of this equation really matters. Enemies, at least for me, were nigh indistinguishable and formed the shapeless mass of health I needed to chew through. I didn't even consider them when assembling a strategy. Luckily, the tools at your disposal are engaging and interesting all around. Minions, of which there are 120 to choose from, contain an attack value, a tribe, and an optional special effect. These special effects can vary wildly, and a good grasp on the different possibilities is required in order to form a coherent strategy. Even then, the game is really good at easing you in, and there's a big range of complicatedness you can aim for. There's the brain-dead simple but highly luck-reliant strategies. For example, stock up on giant rats that deal extra damage the more of them there are on the board. Then, there's some slightly more involved stuff, like getting an early relic that benefits from having all minions from the same tribe. You can then pivot into a nature build with varied damage sources that includes an amplified barrage of goblins paired with the unique wave bounce ability of the bullywog frog. And at the top end of the spectrum, there's my usual suspect, the 25 concept mishmash of doom. Bear with me. It all begins with a Shadow Demon, which fires a damaging Shadow Ball whenever a Blood Arrow deals damage. We then pair it off with a Spirit, which fires a Blood Arrow per minion of the Undead tribe on the board. However, some of the Undead minions turn out to be Ghost Sailors that in turn are powering a relic that deals extra damage based on the number of sailors on the board. This could be all, but it isn't. Then, we add a couple of Shadow Ball buffing relics to the mix, and that's all.
Of course that's not all.
In comes in a pile of Demon Dolls that synergize both amongst themselves by throwing even more Shadow Balls into the mix, as well as empowering a Demon Skull relic that shoots blood arrows based on the amount of demon minions on the board, which in turn triggered even more Shadow Balls from the Shadow Demon. Did you follow that? Of course not, don't be a liar. But guess the result. This is what I really like about Endgame of Devil, the flexibility to decide how much brain power you're willing to dedicate to each build and the possibility of finding success regardless of what you go for. And this would be where the video ends. But right as I finished the game and was done with the script, guess what? The developers released a free expansion which just doubles the amount of game. Yep, a whole new cast of 120 minions and extra relics to choose from, which have literally nothing to do with the original set. And if the original ensemble allowed for straightforward strategies to thrive, that's old news with this expansion. It took me so freaking long just to remember what the different effect names are or what they even do. The base rules don't change, but the mind numbingness is turned up to 11. Minions evolve, they apply debuffs, they trigger off of each other's keywords, it's delightfully complicated. Now, as for downsides, remember how you can just pick giant rats and win? Yeah, you can just pick giant rats and win. Like, forever. For as much as I think it's important to provide tools for new players to grasp the systems without drowning in nuance, Endgame of Devil just plays it a bit too safe and allows Route 1 approaches to work far longer than they should. Giant Rat Spam works on the highest difficulty, and by that point it should require at least some level of finesse to beat the game in my opinion. I also feel like there's so much design space left unexplored. Even within the core set, such a grid-like board begs for stuff like if you have X minions in a row, then Y happens. If you have a pot below a seed, then summon a plant. If you can make the 4 Knights of the Apocalypse form a square, then, I don't know, you win at life or something. It feels like the developers didn't fully explore their base game before jumping into ultra-convoluted special effects territory in the expansion. Then, the English translation, oh my word. There's some abilities that, to this day, I don't know how they work. I mean, Jinx. Missile that deals 1 damage, and enemy with less pollution is easier to get an extra 1. An extra 1 of what? 1 extra Jinx missile? An extra pollution? From where? How? And this isn't the only example, although it is the more egregious by far. But yeah, that's pretty much it. No, actually it isn't. Did I mention this is around $5? Yeah, it's a steal. And now that's pretty much it. If you want a casual, comfy game to sink some hours in while exploring synergies, setups and giant rats, then give Endgame of Devil a try. See ya!